Think about the last time you bought something online. You probably pictured this massive digital warehouse, right? Just an endless catalog of goods waiting to be shipped. But that digital storefront, it's really just a facade. You're not actually looking at a store. You're looking at a supercomputer, one that's quietly running the global economy, and it's powered by literally millions of autonomous digital agents.
So, are you looking at a store or a supercomputer? For years, we've kind of misclassified one of the most powerful entities in global commerce. You hear a name like Alibaba, and you probably think of an online flea market or maybe some cheap B2B sourcing platform. Well, we are dead wrong. What you actually interact with is just a microscopic fraction of the truth. Beneath that surface is this invisible, relentless technological backbone. It's something you probably never think about, but it actively dictates the entire flow of global trade.
There's a really stark divide here. Up on the surface, you've got the front-end storefront. That's the wholesale directory everyday consumers and small businesses see. But behind the curtain, it's a sprawling, interconnected back-end giant. See, this isn't just retail. This is a massive infrastructure company completely masquerading as a retail site, and it's operating on a scale that honestly defies comprehension. And it all starts right at the foundation.
And at that foundation is Aliyun, the cloud computing backbone. Look, if you want to control digital commerce, you absolutely have to control the servers it runs on. Aliyun isn't just renting out a little bit of server space here and there. They provide the massive compute power, the huge database storage, and the deep developer tools that keep entire economies online. They've positioned themselves directly, and I mean aggressively, against Western titans like AWS and Google Cloud, and they are gaining immense ground.
But, raw compute power is really just the fuel. The engine running on top of it is what should really command your attention. Enter the AI frontier, specifically the Qwen foundational models. Alibaba is an absolute behemoth in both open source and enterprise artificial intelligence right now. Their Qwen family rivals the absolute top global models on the market today. And they aren't just building AI as some neat parlor trick. No, they are embedding it directly into deep developer stacks and fully automated corporate workflows.
And here is where it gets wildly futuristic. We're talking about Agentic Commerce. Alibaba is systematically killing the human search bar. We're also used to typing, scrolling, and clicking, right? Well, no more. In Agentic Commerce, autonomous AI agents completely replace human search. You just use natural conversation, and the AI deploys itself into the environment to find, compare, and natively purchase products for you. Just imagine this workflow for a second. First up, autonomous discovery. The AI understands your prompt and just scours the database. Next, you get virtual try-on and price tracking. It doesn't just find the item, it models it for you and analyzes historical pricing to guarantee you're getting the best deal. Finally, native payment execution. It buys it, boom, done. The entire process happens natively without a single human click after your initial command. Now, if you think this is just some experimental beta feature, think again. Through Alipay, they're handling hundreds of millions of autonomous transactions every single week. Let that scale sink in for a moment. This is massive-scale AI-native payment execution, and it's processed entirely within a closed conversational loop. This isn't the future of retail, guys. It is the absolute, undeniable present of their ecosystem. So, they dominate the cloud, and they dominate the digital AI workflow. But at the end of the day, physical goods still have to move across a physical planet. And that brings us to the Qwen AI network, their global logistics brain. Alibaba didn't just throw together a shipping service, and they certainly didn't leave suppliers to figure out transit on their own. Instead, they built an incredibly sophisticated global logistics and data platform. And here's how you dominate global supply chains. You use an arsenal of tech. We're talking AI-driven sorting mechanisms processing millions of packages with zero human error, fully automated warehousing. But the real magic? That's the deep predictive analytics. They literally know where goods need to be before demand even spikes. They optimize freight forwarding and manage complex international customs at a staggering global scale. It is heavy physical infrastructure commanded entirely by a digital brain.
But this machine doesn't stop at physical goods either. We actually need to move beyond retail entirely to really get the full picture and look at their massive footprint in corporate communication and digital entertainment. Because remember, the ultimate goal of any ecosystem is to keep you inside of it no matter what you happen to be doing.
When you break it down, traditional retail is merely a fraction of this overarching machine. Just look at their reach across these different verticals. You've got the cloud and tech space, dominated by Aliyun, providing massive compute and storage. Then, logistics, commanded by Qwen supply chain analytics. Move over to the enterprise level, and you find DingTalk, an absolute powerhouse built specifically for incredibly heavy corporate collaboration workflows. And finally, entertainment, with Alibaba Pictures deeply embedded in digital content creation and global ticketing infrastructure. Which brings us to the absolute core thesis of this entire explainer today. As the quote goes, the e-commerce marketplace is almost just the front-end storefront. Underneath, they are an infrastructure company. The retail platform you see on your screen is an illusion. It is a highly profitable mask covering a foundational technology empire. They are the ones supplying the cloud computing, the logistics networks, and the foundational AI models that are quite literally powering global commerce.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Who really controls the future of digital commerce? Is it the companies building those shiny, user-friendly storefronts? Or is it the invisible titan owning the servers, deploying the autonomous algorithms, and actually moving physical goods across the globe? When you realize the true power of an ecosystem run by invisible infrastructure, the digital world starts to look entirely different.